Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review. This is your host Steve. In this video I will be featuring Eaglemoss's Nissan R35 GTR. This is pack number 9, and here we'll go ahead and assemble the radiator and water tank. So I'll go ahead and take these out, we'll get a closer look at the parts, and then we'll assemble those parts. I'll be right back. Here's the assembly instructions, which is the radiator and water tank. We have our list of parts on the left, and then we have our first 3 steps on the right. We'll flip it over to see if we have a little more, which we do. We have a total of 5 steps, so we have 2 more steps on the next page. So with that, I'll take out the parts, we'll get a closer look at them, then we'll start assembling this issue. So here's the components of the radiator and some of the cooling hoses and such. I'll take these out, we'll get a closer look, and then we'll start assembling. Here's a closer look at the parts. First off, we get a water tank. We get the engine hose. We get a water tank cover. We get the radiator pipe. We get the engine front cover, engine cover base, and the radiator. We also get HP screws and BP screws. So let's get started. Here's a water tank cover and a radiator pipe cover. They look exactly the same, except for one is longer than the other. And I forgot to say, all the parts that came with this pack are plastic. There's no metal parts at all. Alright, so we'll attach this engine hose to the water tank, and the way it goes on there is it's keyed here. There's a little keyway on the bottom there, you can kind of see, goes into there, and then we put our water tank cap through this, and then we screw it down from underneath. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the water cap through this first, and then we will put the BP screw in next. The BP screw is very small. I already have it loaded up, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in very carefully, that I don't over tighten it and strip it out. And hopefully you can kind of see that. A bit of resistance there, and there it is. It's all put in. Next we install the radiator hose and the larger cap, because this was a shorter one. The longer cap, it's simply going to go like that underneath. Just make sure this little part is going off to the left there, and we'll take and we'll insert that just like that, and we'll put the cap in first, just like I did before. I'll preload a BP screw, and we'll insert this on here just like that. Flip it over. Hopefully you get that screw in there. A little fiddly. I can hold it up like that, and feed that in, and you can kind of see I don't have it tightened yet where this goes. And there we go. Next we're going to attach the radiator pipe to the engine front cover. And we're going to secure it with an HP screw. And you'll see we have two areas that we have to insert. There's a peg that goes in on the bottom here, and that hose goes in right there. So we'll slot that in first, and then we'll feed this in just like that. Okay, and there we go, like that. And then we'll put our screw in to get a hold of it here. And there you go. Looks really good. And that's what it looks like. With our screw in the back. Next we'll put the back cover on. So we'll flip this over, we'll secure that down with HP screws. They'll go in there right there. It's going in plastic to plastic. So just like that. And then we'll put our HP screws in. We have two of them. Simple enough. And after this is done, we'll put this into the engine bay and secure it into the engine bay. And there you go. So I'll be right back and we'll throw this into the engine bay. Here's our engine bay, and here's the front of our engine with the water tank. Now it gets inserted into the front of the engine just like that. We will install 5 HP screws, and the 5 are going to be right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this inserts into the slots on the front of the engine. Try to line up everything as best as possible. And this looks like it needs to slide in through that slot there, just like that. Trying to get everything lined up here. And just the first off, I'm going to get the first 2 started, the front of the engine, which would be these 2 right here. And we'll go ahead and screw those in first. Next one loaded up here. Be careful you don't over tighten these, they will strip out. That looks good. Line up just right in there. And I'll try to get that in. There's one. And 2. And lastly, the water hose. And remember, these are all were HP screws. And there we go. It is installed, just as advertised. Wasn't too bad. And there you have it. That was Pack 9. So that completes our build of Pack 9, where we installed all these components here, the water tank, the front of the engine, all the hoses, and it was a lot of fun. A little bit of a challenge for me with the tiny screws, but it all worked out in the end. So stay tuned for pack number 10. We did not use the radiator with this issue. That'll be for later on, but at least we have the part and we're ready to go with that. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Eaglemoss. Build the Nissan G35. I put a link in the description below. With that, I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the like, hit the bell for notifications. With that, happy modeling everybody. Take care.